All right, so this is going to be a replay review for Goon. Um, I watched these games, and I know you acknowledge that you need to work on pro production, but how do I say it? First and foremost, that you are right. It's definitely a problem, but it's a bigger problem than you probably realize. Um, that's not to say that I can't give you input in other areas like strategy, build, and decision making and whatnot. But it's kind of hard to evaluate this game, especially because it feels like your opponent's macro ability is a little bit a level ahead of yours. So the analogy I always give players is that, like, you know, in MMA fighting, there's always different weight classes. Even if like fighter A has really impeccable technique and skill, if he's facing off against a fighter that's like 30, 40 pounds heavier, he's very likely to lose. And so in StarCraft, your unit production, your pro production, your economy, that's what determines your weight class. Because you need the adequate army size in order to face off against your opponent, and your micro determines how good things are afterward. But if you don't have the economy or worker count or the army to even start off with, then it doesn't make sense to hone the micro technique or whatnot afterwards. You need to get your material up first. So definitely work on your probe count, your economy, all the good things. It's really blatantly clear that in these games that you lack army in areas that you shouldn't, and that's what makes things feel like really hard all the time, because your economy's behind all the time. So you're like at a losing battle. You're fighting a losing battle at every turn. So work on your pro production. It's definitely super important, but I'll still try to point out some things to start off. Okay. Oop. So let's just speed this up a little bit. So it looks like you go for Forge Fast Expand, you go Pylon Scout. All this is good. Looks like it's going Overpool. That's awesome. Okay. So you get your first probe out here. You scout this, and you already see that this is a Overpool timing. So the thing you need to watch for is if he's going Overpool, then you can make your Nexus first, which I believe you do. But then you need to see how many cannons you need to make. If it's two lings or 4 lings or less, then it's only 1 cannon. But if he makes 6, then you need 2 cannons. So I don't want to. Let's see. I already know he's going to make but it's important to watch this. You need to watch this. Okay, here's the mistake. Well, it's not that bad a mistake, but this can use scope right away. Especially if it's cross spawn, it's okay because the distance is longer. But if it's close spawn, and he makes Zerglings, then it won't. Your cannon needs to be up in time. If your cannon starts after his lings hatch, this is close spawn, then you're too late. He can bust your cannon. So if you're going to do 13 Nexus, you have to go 13 Nexus and then immediately cannon. You can't wait like this. You are buying time. If the ling is chasing your probe, obviously that's okay. Then that makes it okay. But in most situations, you don't want to wait. And you do see that he made a drone here. So this is just 1 cannon. So that's good. Next. Okay, you don't want to lose your probe. That's going to be a really big problem. I don't like this generally. So let's see here. If he goes for a really fast gas, like a 2-minute gas, like if he was starting it now, then this is maybe okay because he's going to go for speedlings and like he's going to go for speedlings, and it's going to be hard to scout. So hiding a probe in a random area is good, but here this is not as good. Each probe makes a huge difference in the early game, and having a probe here, it makes a big difference. I know it doesn't seem like it, but it absolutely does. If you're going to scout again, send another probe out later in a couple of minutes, but don't do this. This is really, it's too crippling for your economy. Okay, definitely want the gateway up. Okay, here's, yeah, you're missing probes here, so that hurts you a lot. And then you want gas afterwards. Okay. If you do 13 Nexus, you don't need this pylon. You can see this Nexus about to finish, so you don't need this pylon here. If you go cannon before Nexus, then yeah, you need a pylon there, but here you don't. No. So you're doing a lot of things that are crippling yourself. If he hasn't built a third here yet by like 3 minutes, he's not going to build a third there. Just move on. Don't build a pylon here. You already have 16/34. You have already so much free supply. You're not making probes. Yeah, you need the core ASAP. Core should have come at 3:30, and you're behind about 4 or 5 probes. And then doing this cannon, this pylon just puts you even further behind. So you see, okay, one thing, you do get some information. You do want to see the layer timing if there is one. Gateway. Okay, so if you're going to do this, let's see what happens. But here's the thing. If you were, actually, yeah, I think you'd be about 4 to 5 probes ahead of his worker count, but it's pretty much even, and so you're already really behind. Have one Zealot out. See, it's really hard to afford units when your probe production is subpar. And then your Stargate timing's okay, but you're cutting a lot of probes. You see a Spire. Okay, so let's see. His build is really weird too, because generally they go for a third base. If you see a hatchery at this timing, it's like 3 hatch Hydra, but I know he didn't do that. So it makes it hard to read because he's not really playing a meta build. Either way, I would get Corsair as soon as possible. But you see, it's hard to afford things quickly. Like ideally you want to produce a Corsair right when your Stargate finishes, but when your probe count is this behind, you just can't do anything efficiently. So if you're gonna go, and this cannon wasn't necessary too, because you never saw more than 4 Zerglings. If you're gonna go 2 gate, then you need a pressure with these. The benefit of 2 gate is that you're able to get a higher Zealot count earlier versus a single gate. Generally, a second gate, if you're going to go standard, a second gate comes after the Citadel. But if you're going to go gateway before Citadel, then you need to do some damage, or at least poke with your Zealots. So just for reference, Protoss is always supposed to be 5 to 6 probes ahead of Zerg's drone count. If this is ever even, or if he's ahead, you are massively behind. It's not a 55-45 situation, it's like a 60-40, 70-30 situation when this happens. So if you're self-inflicting this, then this is not good. This has to be addressed as soon as possible because you're already starting off on the back foot. Okay. Okay, you see mutas. You just need one cannon here, one cannon, and then two at the main. One cannon at the nat, two in the main. That's all you need. Sending these zealots is okay. Just get some sick out tech. It's fine. And try to find his third too, which I understand. You only have 2 on gas. But he's gonna always go for the base that has the Corsair production. So having 2 cannons at the main is more important than 2 cannons at the nat. So there's a chance he could have killed you, so I think you got kind of lucky. Because this cannon being late could have spelled doom for you, but you got lucky there. So if he's not here or here, then I would start looking at these corner bases. But he's producing Hydras now, so okay. This goes for a weird all-in. Okay. Generally, you would be really ahead. But because your pro count is so low, he's either he's ahead or yeah, you're not ahead at all. Generally when Zerg suicides their army into you, that puts you at a massive advantage, but because your pro count's so low, then it's not that's not true in this situation. For reference, you should have had about 40 probes around 7 minutes. If that's too hard to shoot for, because that's like perfect per production, aim for like 35 or so. But you have 35 probes at 9 minutes, 10 minutes. So you're full, what? You have 26 probes here. Let me do math, because I can't do math. 1 second. So 26 divided by 35. You're about 75% production of where you could be. And that's not even ideal. If we're measuring against ideal production, you're at 65%. So you're at 65% of where you could be. It kind of makes the hard game to evaluate because generally speaking, like for example, if he like this kind of all in here, not all in, but this kind of attack here is if he, since it fails, it generally puts Protoss really far ahead. But you lose the Templar, which is not good. That happens. But look at his production. He has 1, 2, 3, 4 hatches. You're on 3 gateways. You should have, if your probe count was adequate, you'd have 8 gateways finished by now. So because your economy is not good, you just can't keep up with him. And what he's going to do now, because he killed a bunch of your units and zealots, he's going to expand, I think double expand pretty soon. Yep, he's going to double expand here. And now look at the situation. You guys are even supply, which is also not good. You have equal number of workers, like I said, which is also a death sentence. Don't have a big army. Yeah, you're already just really far behind. And I wish I could say that you could have. I wish the answer was more interesting, but really his production and his macro is just better than yours. Strategic things matter more when both players are equal in skill in terms of macro, but when he is higher level in macro, it just trounces everything that you do. So the one other thing I would take away is I think you do. Let's see. You do see that he has a 4th base, and so I would just take this base as well, because Protoss is it's hard to attack with Protoss into Zerg, especially on this map, especially with high ridges. But it's also on the converse, it's Protoss is good to defend with. So and securing this base would be easy or easier to defend. So when you know you're behind like this, I would take third and fourth base to try to catch up. Especially this third gas is really important. But he's already super ahead of you. He has 20 more workers than you. Even if you kill his bases over and over, like his fifth base here, his production is just going to be, his production is just better. I wish I could say more. That's more interesting, but it's just the truth. So yeah, you trade units here, but this is bad for you because look at your mining here. You're about to mine out soon. You're gonna mine out at 18 minutes, and your natural's gonna be mined out soon too, 18 to 20 minutes. You're only gonna have this mineral only base. Meanwhile, he's still gonna be on 4 base mining, so his production's just gonna outlast yours. So that's why I think getting the 4th base is more important than attacking, especially trading now. Your army is just not going to trade cost effectively in terms of like tactically, because going up attacking up this hill is really hard. But also anything he loses, he can make up fourfold, while what you lose, it's infinitely more expensive to make up. I'm actually going to stop the game here because you're at such an overwhelming disadvantage that anything I say, it's not going to be as important as anything I've said before. So I'm just going to stop here. Okay, now going to the second game. I think the second game, it's a little bit better in terms of macro equivalence, and then I can talk a little bit about strategy. Okay, so wait, what happened here? So you scout his base, you see the hatchery, so this is going to be another overpool. So you can make your nexus now. Good. You don't want to lose your probe. Definitely work on keeping your probe alive. Okay, I can kind of see maybe why you made the second cannon, because you're blind. I think getting the gateway up is more important though, because he's maybe it's okay. The biggest problem is that you lost your probe. Okay, actually that's the main point. You see that because you lost probe, you have to spend more money here, that this could have been a gateway and a faster gas. But because you lost your probe, you have to waste money on the cannon. And that puts you behind in terms of tech. Your probe count's the same as his drone count, which is no bueno, again. Okay, he wastes some zerglings, that's lucky for you. Gas, gate. Yeah, this is just, it's just really hard to play against the Zerg when your worker count's the same as their drone count. Yeah, it's really tough. Okay, same build it looks like. Okay, so no Stargate this time, okay. Okay. Oh, okay, so gateway. We're cutting probes. Okay. Okay, so there's a purpose to this, so I like it. And I'm gonna blind him. Get some more zealots. Good. Okay. And then you're getting Templar Archives. All right. This is looking good. All right, so we want to make an attack here, and let's see what happens. So brilliant decisive, and you took a lot of damage doing that. Okay. So generally speaking, when you do a +1 timing without Corsair, generally you just want to poke, do whatever damage you can, and try to get away as much as possible. Here, there's possibly, if they're more unprepared, there's more of a timing window for you to try to kill them. But a lot of small things added up to you not being able to. One is kind of your Zealots running back and forth and being indecisive on what you want to do. So also, a much more, usually a far more vulnerable target is their third. Generally speaking, going for the third is more optimal, or it's usually a better choice. Because usually, actually, never mind. Yeah, that's just a general rule of thumb. Okay, so we have a sunken here. We have a sunken here, and then we have what? 7 zealots. And he has 5 hydras and a zergling. Okay, so you can use these 2 zealots, kill this ling, start working on this sunken. Then you have 5 zealots versus 6 hydras. That should win. That should win, straight up. He's going to reinforce from his third, but ideally you should be reinforcing too, right? So it should even out. But you took a bunch of damage for free. Like this one has no shields. This one's almost dead. These took a lot of damage too. And if he's going to do this, then you want your zealots to work together as a team to like fight this. Because what? You have 7 zealots. 7 zealots beats 7 hydras. But this dies by itself. Because it's got 2 die, because they get split off, and he doesn't micro his hydras. But if he had just waited and grouped up with his hydras here, then he could just slowly pick off your your zealots. So what's going on back home? You have 700 minerals. You are making High Templar, but I think more importantly, I would have reinforced with zealots here. The exception is if he's making mutas, then obviously the High Templar is more important. But if it's hydras and you had a window to kill him, pausing this zealot production, you missed a chance here. So he doesn't micro, so you get more damage than you maybe should have. But here's the biggest problem. Okay, let's wait till after he wipes out. You killed some drones, which seems good, but then now look what happens. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hatcheries. He has 6 larvae there. Can't select larvae there, but 8 larvae, 10 larvae. So with these 10 larvae, I know he doesn't have the money, but he has the larvae to make 10 drones right now. And remember what I said, same work count, bad for Protoss. Why doesn't he, or what's to stop him from doing that? Right now, nothing. You lost all your zealots and didn't do as much damage as you maybe could have. So he's free to drone for however long he wants, or for a while. If you had more zealots coming, then he could easily be intimidated and scared. But because he doesn't, or he knows or has seen or doesn't see that you're reinforcing, or he feels comfortable seeing that there's no more threat incoming, then he can just drone and just economically overpower you. So there's one of two goals with your zealot push. One is to, if you can go for the kill, go for it. But having it defended and all your zealots killed while they maintain an okay economy, that puts you really far behind. So he sends his hydras. Watch what happens at home. Makes drone. Look at his drone count, 41. He's already ahead of you, and there's nothing you could have done because all your zealots are dead. So, if you see a hole or you see an opportunity to kill him, go for it. But you have to reinforce with zealots continuously if you're going to do that. But also, if he's making mutas or his Sim City's really tight, then preserve your zealots. Keep them at bay to threaten him, and make sure he's scared that he can't drone up like this. Those are one of two options, but you had the worst situation was not killing him and losing all your zealots. From here on out, honestly, this is another area where I feel like the game is kind of over. I like the Dark Archon, especially because you don't have Corsairs. But your army's too small to threaten him, because he can take the rest of the map, and there's even while wasting mutas and wasting hydras and losing production, he just overpowers you. I know the supply looks good right now, but Zerg just grows so exponentially that if they have the adequate drone count, then they can rebuild the army so quickly. And here, he has 4 bases up and running, and you just kind of start on your 3rd. So, but that stems from not having a, how do I say this? I'll just rewind and show you. Okay, so you have your Nexus now, or how do I illustrate this? Imagine, okay, so I know he's going for an attack now. Imagine if you kept your 7 zealots, even if you didn't kill anything, if you kept your 7 zealots like right here. He'd be scared, number 1, to move out like this, because he doesn't want to leave his bases naked like this. And also he can't take a 4th like this, but because your zealots died, he feels the freedom to do so. I feel like this is another area that I don't have a lot to talk about. Actually, we'll go to the last fight and we'll talk about that maybe. So yeah, he loses a lot of units here, but in doing so, he's delaying your 3rd. This is worth it for him. Okay. Here it looks pretty good. It looks promising because there's no you're getting into this base, but Hydras trade really well against Dragoons, and you don't have any High Templar. So this is going to be a slow death, but he's going to, yeah, kill your army's going to die eventually. You do get a hatchery, but in exchange for your entire army. So yeah, I don't have a lot more to add. I think I've touched on the most important things. One is um, your worker production, especially against a player that has better macro than you. That's really the most important thing. But aside from that, keeping your units alive with your zealots. Don't commit too hard. If you're going to commit, like reinforce the zealots too. But if you don't commit, then you need to keep them alive. You can't have them being picked off one by one and do very minimal damage. And here you do get some really good storms off, but his production just outpaces yours. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 hatcheries. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, 8 gateways, 9 gateways. It's not bad. Actually, it looks kind of good right now. Somehow you made a lot more probes, and so you can sustain this gateway count. And you're going to take this 4th base, so that's really good. And you're harassing that, so somehow we're in a good position. I think he could have prevented this, and if he storm dodged a little bit better, I think the battle wouldn't have gone so well for you, but you got some good storms off, and he let you take this. So that's why I think you still have a fighting chance. But he's gonna take your 12 o'clock. Somehow your army's kind of small. Your supply is actually not bad, but for some reason it's just kind of spread out like this. And Protoss absolutely needs their army together. I would leave a few zealots here to help defend too. And once he takes this 12 o'clock, it's game over. I think that's the other big problem, is that when your army is like supply-wise behind, because at 18 minutes you could have like a maxed out army, and when he knows that your army is not as big as it could be because of this late third, and because he killed a bunch of units before, he knows he has more than enough to defend his expansions while backstabbing your third. Because imagine if you lost none of those units, you kept on top of your macro, you have a really high supply, then he needs every single unit at bay to help defend wherever you're attacking. But because he knows he's ahead of you in production, he can spare this group of Hydras, kill your 12 o'clock, and just get further ahead. So yeah, stuff just stems from the early to mid game, and the late game kind of just falters after that. So I'm not trying to be mean. I hope that was productive and helpful. It's just that it's a lot of your problems stem from the early to mid game, and I think if you fix those, then I think you're well on your way to leveling up. But you have to fix those things first. So best of luck. Take care.